Halloween, the day of horror, fear, dread, monsters, ghosts, ghouls, and candy. What? I like candy. I can eat it all the time without getting sick. Look, as a demon, I am immune to diabetes and stomach aches. Ye humans should have known by now. Anyway, back then in ancient times of the Celts, Halloween is the evening before the Christian holy days of All Hallows Day on November 1st and All Souls Day on November 2nd, thus giving the holiday on October 31st the full name of All Hallows Eve. During those days, the Celtic and Christian people would sacrifice their crops and livestock to spirits with a bonfire, in order to appease them, and they dressed up as monsters and witches to scare off evil spirits, and before pumpkins, they used turnips or onions for jack-o'-lanterns. Nowadays, Halloween costumes, which evolved from the disguises the Celts wore to scare evil spirits with, have been either normal horrors, characters from horror movies, or media of non-scary characters from My Little Pony, Power Rangers, TMNT, Transformers, Disney, etc. But the non-scary stuff is for little kids, preteens, teenagers, young adults, and adults are more interested into the scary, funny or inappropriate costumes. Haunted houses, or haunted mazes became popular. In Mexico, their version of Halloween is called Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, or Dia de Muertos, is a Mexican holiday celebrated throughout Mexico, in particular the central and south regions, and by people of Mexican ancestry living in other places, especially the United States. It is acknowledged internationally in many other cultures. The multi-day holiday focuses on gatherings of family and friends to pray for and remember friends and family members who have died, and help support their spiritual journey. In 2008, the tradition was inscribed in the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. The holiday is sometimes called Dia de los Muertos in Anglophone countries, a back translation of its original name, Dia de Muertos. It is particularly celebrated in Mexico, where the day is a public holiday. Prior to Spanish colonization in the 16th century, the celebration took place at the beginning of summer. Gradually, it was associated with October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd to coincide with the Western Christian tradition of All Hallowtide, All Saints' Eve, All Saints' Day, and All Souls' Day. Traditions connected with the holiday include building private altars called ofrendas, honoring the deceased using sugar skulls, marigolds, and the favorite foods and beverages of the departed, and visiting graves with these as gifts. Visitors also leave possessions of the deceased at the graves. Scholars trace the origins of the modern Mexican holiday to indigenous observances dating back hundreds of years and to an Aztec festival dedicated to the goddess Mictecacihuatl. The holiday has spread throughout the world, being absorbed within other deep traditions for honoring the dead. It has become a national symbol and as such is taught for educational purposes in the nation's schools. Many families celebrate a traditional All Saints' Day associated with the Catholic Church. Originally, the Day of the Dead as such was not celebrated in northern Mexico, where it was unknown until the 20th century because its indigenous people had different traditions. The people and the church rejected it as a day related to syncretizing pagan elements with Catholic Christianity. They held the traditional All Saints' Day in the same way as other Christians in the world. There was limited Mesoamerican influence in this region, and relatively few indigenous inhabitants from the regions of southern Mexico, where the holiday was celebrated. In the early 21st century in northern Mexico, Dia de Muertos is observed because the Mexican government made it a national holiday based on educational policies from the 1960s. It has introduced this holiday as a unifying national tradition based on indigenous traditions. The Mexican Day of the Dead celebration is similar to other cultures' observances of a time to honor the dead. The Spanish tradition included festivals and parades, as well as gatherings of families at cemeteries to pray for their deceased loved ones at the end of the day. These holidays have many counterparts all over the world, but as the ancients said, the night of Halloween is when the barrier between the world of the living and the world of the dead are at its thinnest. Oh, and here's a little thing Zara should announce. Zara.
Halloween is my birthday.
And a happy birthday to you, Zora.